This is Planet Music.
Welcome to Planet Music from the makers of Planet Marzipan.
In a streaming world, we're proud to be a podcast that celebrates the art of the album.
Hello and welcome to Planet Music. I'm Meza. I'm here with my good friends.
G'day.
And
Mikey?
And
Great.
we have a guest this week. As you can see from the title of the episode, we are reviewing Phoebe Bridgers' album from 2020, Punisher. And we welcome Nat Merrick to the podcast.
Hello.
Hello, Nat. Are you okay?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm good. And this is your pick, isn't it?
This is my pick.
Yeah. So Nat's here because she knows about this album. And I think the four of us didn't know anything about it. Well, I'd heard it because Nat grew up in our house because she's my daughter. But I think the other three guys, you'd not heard of it before?
No,
Well,
the only thing I heard of it was only a matter of a couple of months ago when I was watching season 1 of Shrinking.
Oh, yeah.
Was it episode 3 or something where he has a bit of a breakdown on his bike and he's cursing out to the skies.
Yeah. Shrinking's amazing, isn't it? Yeah. So Punisher was released on the 18th of June 2020. Craig, how old were you on the 18th of June 2020?
Oh, I was the ripe old age of 47.
Okay.
Weren't we all about 10 years older than we had been in January 2020?
Yeah. In the middle of lockdown. Yeah. There is a Wikipedia entry, quite a lengthy one for this album. Punisher is the second studio album by American singer-songwriter Phoebe Bridgers, released on the 18th of June 2020 by Dead Oceans. It's the follow-up to her 2017 debut album, Stranger in the Alps. Punisher was recorded over a 1.5 year period at Sound City Studios in LA and reunited Bridgers with producers Tony Berg and Ethan Gruska, who also engineered Stranger. Its recording process was collaborative, with its liner notes crediting over 24 prominent musicians, including Julian Baker, Lucy Dacus, Christian Lee Hudson, Jim Keltner, Blake Mills, and Connor Oberst. Bridgers released 5 singles: Garden Song, Kyoto, I See You, I Know the End, and Savior Complex in support of the album. Upon its release, the album attracted acclaim from music critics who celebrated its open lyricism. Now, what does this album mean to you?
Yeah. I mean, this is maybe my favorite album ever, if you were to hold a gun to my head.
Wow.
And I wasn't a Phoebe Bridgers fan when this came out, but pretty soon after, it was definitely in lockdown. She kind of had a bit of a moment online. I think everyone kind of wanted somewhere to vent their frustration. Um, so yeah, this was the first I'd heard of her.
Did you come to her
And
through Lucy Dacus? Because you liked Lucy Dacus before, didn't you?
no, I heard Phoebe Bridgers first,
All right.
and then I listened to Boy Genius and
Right,
branched
yeah.
off to the three of them, as we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
But yeah, she had a bit of a moment with the lead single off the first album, which was Motion Sickness, and then Kyoto from this album were quite, because I think that's one of the more accessible songs
Yeah.
on the album, I would say, for a general audience. But I just kind of knew I always like the ballad on an album, and this is kind of an album full of them.
Oh,
So
yes.
I will always take that.
Was Kyoto the first single then off this album?
I know it was the one that
Second,
she did.
right.
She did a big like music video for. She wanted to film it in Japan, but
Yeah.
it was lockdown, so she filmed it all with like a green screen behind her. And I remember watching that for like the visual. I think Garden Song was the first single, but
Yeah.
It was.
I think we'll wrap up at the end by saying what we think of this. But how's it been, guys, sort of getting into this album? Craig?
Well, you know what I'm like for my female singer-songwriters.
Yes.
Yeah, it's it's the kind of genre that I really like. And yeah, it's funny because first listening to it, you kind of feel there's some DNA here that I kind of recognize some kind of thing from it, and it was like not until a little bit later on, and it was actually Connor Oberth, because way back when it was me and David had a good time of being right at the Bright Eyes back in the like Cascadea time, back with we did 2007, 8, like up to like 11 or something. So we're right into that, and not reading until later on that he was involved. I was like, right, okay, that's where me hook point is with it.
She has a band with him. They
Yeah.
have an album. So
Yeah.
What's that called?
go listen, it's great. The band is Better Oblivion Community Centre, I think.
It's just a minute. It's on this page here. Sorry, it's a very, very long Wikipedia page. Better Oblivion Community Centre came out in 2019, the year before this. Yeah, sorry.
But I think vocally in some aspects, there's definitely a little bit of Billie Eilish in there. Not necessarily in the style of the songs and things, just in a phrasing of her singing.
There's lots of she sings in lots of different styles and ways across the album, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does. And there's especially a couple of things I was like, my brain was going on, like wandering onto like No Time to Die, the James Bond theme occasionally. But no, I enjoyed it. And the only thing I think is a bit odd in it is the production is quite, in some things it's very lo-fi rather than like hi-fi.
I think that's deliberate though, isn't it? It's
I think
kind
that's
of the style of the record.
The style of it, the sound like that reminds me bizarrely of John Wesley's, was it 1998 album Emperor Falls? Just that style of production.
Yeah.
But no, I was pleasantly surprised by the album.
Yeah, cool. Gray, what's your initial take on it before we get in deep?
So it's really weird. So the first track set me up thinking, yeah, great, this is gonna be brilliant. It's like post-apocalyptic proggy type stuff. Is right. It's got loads of atmospherics to it, and then obviously it goes completely off piste and goes very, very different. However, and I'll make references to this. There's a lot of it that reminds me of possibly my favorite album of this decade so far. And I know,
which is
Folklore.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
Not actually the Pond Sessions. It's the one that they did during separately.
We queued for that, Nat. We one long Pond
Record Store Day.
Yeah. So I must admit, I bought it on Record Store Day. I didn't intend to, but there was one left. I was like, I'll have a copy of that. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So, and it's the fact that when you look, so she's worked with the National, she's worked with Taylor Swift, she's worked with these people that there's a lot of DNA through the stuff that she's done as a collaborator that I think comes out in this album, which I like from the other people anyway.
Yeah.
So it was quite an easy album for me to go, actually, yeah, I get this. I really do.
Good. I think Mikey had a slightly different take on it initially.
Well, I've always said that female singer-songwriters aren't really my bag. So I found this a little hard to get into at first. My first mistake was playing the album at home on the telly on YouTube. Big mistake. Because when I played it the second time round at work, headphones in, buds in, it was just a completely different musical experience.
Yeah.
My female singer-songwriters probably go as, I think the closest to this album that I've probably got in possession is Goldfrapp's Silver. Maybe
you're on your own here.
Yeah, Silver Eye was 2017. Okay. It's a very it's, I wouldn't say it's haunting. It's a haunting album, and that was the first thing that grabbed me about this when I played through.
Yeah.
But I still, probably listening to it work also probably wasn't the best thing to do. And it wasn't until my third playthrough, I was reading some notes from an interview with Apple Music about each of the tracks, and then it just clicked. The whole thing just clicked. And I mean, my lockdown album of 2020, believe it or not, was the Pet Shop Boys album. Of course it was, because they just released Hotspot in January. So that was me done for that year. And because me and Craig had to keep the
Engine's good.
the pull, yeah, we had to keep the engine alive through lockdowns.
At work.
I didn't get a lot of spare time to, like a lot of people use lockdown to experience new things, and here I was just doing the same old, same old. So if I'd heard this album during lockdown, I think it would have hit me hard. I really do. You know, I think you've just got to be in the right frame of mind or mood for this, but I can understand 100% why it means so much to Nat.
Yeah, I was aware of it because I've heard it when Nat's played it, but I've never really listened to it. I think the last track, I've always thought it's absolutely stunning, but hearing this album in headphones really, really unlocks it for you. For me, the lo-fi that Craig talks about, and just the arrangements, the claustrophobia in the arrangements, you need to be in the headphones, so you're just in that space. Because there's quite a few tracks on here where it's not really about the music that's going on behind it, or even the vocal performance. It's the lyric. The lyric is the key for me, but we'll come on to that. But it's been a revelation for me, I have to say. But
that's unusual.
It's funny,
for you.
yeah.
it is unusual for me because
normally for an album like this, your first instinct would be like you normally do is cheer up, Lord, cheer up.
It would be, yeah. It would be, yeah. I mean, the last track is absolutely amazing. We will talk about it at the end, and always has been for me. But the rest of it didn't sort of grab me until we listened to it for this. It's certainly not an album. If you've never heard it, I would not advise you putting it on and doing something else. I would think you've got to listen to it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Shall we get into the music? Track 1. We're going to talk about it longer than the track is, I have no doubt, but it's 1 minute and 9, and it's called DVD Menu. Nat, what do you make of this opener?
I mean, it's great. I made notes from going through Genius, and I have none for this song.
Oh, okay.
It's all she said is that she wanted it to feel like it was when you put a DVD in before the album. I have stuff to say about it again later because the melody from the song will come up again.
Okay.
But other than that, yeah, I think it's very reflective of the album. And I always like an instrumental track. I know they're not always Dad's choice, but I like them.
Okay. Cool. Craig?
Yeah, all the younger people who are younger than everybody on this pod will be going, what's a DVD menu? It's not on streaming. I haven't seen that on Netflix. But no, it's a great atmospheric opener. I love the violin bits in it. It's does it set you up for the album, or does it feel like you're about to go into like a version of The Ring or something like that, or some
yeah, maybe
some kind of horror film? But no, nice little opener.
Okay, Gray.
I love it, and for me, it's not The Ring or a horror movie. It's something like 28 Days Later or something. Is that kind of haunting sound?
Yeah.
Sort of haunting and foreboding. But I mean, it had me hooked from the off, and it's really simple. But I think that's what's so good about it because it gives it the space. It's short and sweet, and it goes from that into straight into a song, which is kind of jarring the first time you hear it. You're like,
you think? I thought it kind of set up Garden Song myself. If it'd gone into maybe Kyoto, I don't think that would have worked. But you know, because it goes into a song that's of a similar sort of nature.
Yeah. But yeah, I love it. I really love it.
I think it's great, and I agree with you, John. I think it sets up the next song perfect. There's something about it. I don't know whether it's just the electronic atmospherics with the acoustic guitar. We get a lot of that through the album. It's a marriage that works throughout, and I never got bored of it. There's an overall aesthetic or flavour to the album. But there's enough changes within it that it doesn't get repetitive, if that makes sense. She's got plenty singing styles. And although I don't want to wobble what Nat's going to say, but there was also a sample from the last song on my first album, allegedly.
In this DVD menu?
Yeah, so
right
down back in the mix, there's some vocal samples, and that's taken from the last song from the first album. So it's almost like you've got this eternal loop thing going on, and that'll explain why later on. I just think it's gorgeous. It doesn't overstay its welcome. I mean, I could have sat and listened to that for 5 or 6 minutes, but I think it's short and sweet. And if it's a DVD menu track, it's going to loop, and you don't want to last 5 minutes. I think it's gorgeous. I think it's a winner for me.
I wouldn't say it's gorgeous. I think it's creepy as anything, but it sets up what we're about to get. You're not getting a sugar pop record, are you? You know, you've got double bass, strings, violin. It's a very melancholic sort of track, isn't it? I mean, like I say, it's only 1:09, and we've talked longer than that already. So let's get on to the first real song of the album, Nat, which is track 2, and it's Garden Song.
Yeah. Strangely, this is actually maybe the song I revisit the least on this album. Tends to be one that I will only listen to if I listen to the album in full. But I really enjoy it. I think the second voice in it is great, and she did that a bit on the first album. She likes to just chuck in a random male voice. It's no one.
Do we know?
It's a tour manager. So she said she was on tour pre-COVID. This whole song was about being on tour, and we'll come back to that later in the album. But she said she was singing in the van with her manager, and he just had a really deep voice, and she thought it was cool, so she put him on the song. But yeah, I kind of knew that this would be an album for me when I heard this song because of that first verse reference of killing her ex's Nazi neighbor and burying him in the garden.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, the bulk of my notes for this track are about the lyrics. There's some incredible lyrics on here. I mean, the bit that you're talking about, someday I'm going to live in your house up on the hill, and when your skinhead neighbor goes missing, I'll plant a garden in the yard.
Yeah. She said she initially had it being kind of more about that, and then it came back to this recurring nightmare that she says we'll talk about in literally almost every track. In my notes, she talks about drowning a lot in this album. Yes, almost every song. And she really struggled with being on tour, so I assume these two things, go hand in hand. But just that first bit is so like creepy, but it feels very honest in a way. I think she's quite a conversational songwriter, which I really enjoy.
Yeah,
that's
definitely
where she differs the most to me from someone like Taylor Swift, who's writing these big, like almost like literature lyrics. I think Phoebe Bridgers can be very basic in a way that I really enjoy, and makes it feel like something you would think in your head that she's just like put into a song almost. But yeah, I like the song.
Okay, cool. Greg?
Yeah, the funny thing that it kind of reminds us, even though it's like, just the title of the garden in it, it reminds us of the film Garden State, just the vibe of it, the Zach Braff directed film from way back when. It's just got that kind of feel, and lyrically it reminds us a lot of some early Kathleen Edwards stuff, where the off-center lyrics about life and love and stuff. But I think it sounds really, really nice, and it's very low key. And is it really a single? It is for the next generation. But no, nice tune.
I don't know. It's not a first single, is it? Is it the first one? Not the first one from this. Is it the first one from this album?
It was the first single from the album.
Actually, yeah, because I kind of read that the tracks were recorded in order, weren't they, virtually?
I mean, I believe that.
Yeah. Okay. Great. What do you make of this?
So it's really interesting because the first thing that struck me about this was she, according to the note, she doesn't play it in this, but for me, it's got that dampened guitar sound.
Yeah.
But it's not credited as the Bridges, the rubber Bridges guitar on this track. But for me, it's got the same sound as that, the nylon guitar with the rubber to deaden the string sound. I love the musicality of it. I think it's an absolutely fantastic song. And then I actually paid attention to the lyrics, and I was just like, what the?
Exactly, yeah.
Seriously, that last, I mean, you were talking, so it's quite light, so you listen, but you've got that first verse with it.
Well, yeah.
Very in the neighbours, it's a skinhead in the garden and all that. But then it's like the last one.
The verse
but I'm taller. It must be something in the water. Everything's growing in the garden, but you don't have to know it's haunted.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's really dark.
It's incredibly dark.
But brilliantly done. And I love, you were talking that the conversational lyrics, there's a reason that I like a lot of the male lyricists I do is because they have that storytelling ability to weave thoughts and things together that you don't necessarily understand the first time you hear it.
Yeah.
It's cool. And then you listen to it again, you go, hang on a minute, what's that about? And then the next time you hear it, you hear something else. Well, that's what it does.
This is what we found on this pod, isn't it, really? Certainly you and Mikey.
Yeah.
Tracks like this, or albums like this, where you can dig in to find out the meaning behind them. It really sort of hooks you guys in, doesn't it?
Very much so.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mikey, what do you make of Garden Song?
Oh, I think it's wonderful. It's not a wonderful song kind of way. I love her vocals on this. She's got this ability to put wistful across without sounding weak. You can feel the pain in her voice as well through a lot of this one, and I think it just sells the song for me. I love the acoustic guitar work. It's kind of just swirls around in the background, and you've got these, again, lo-fi electronic guitars in the background, really low down. And there's almost this like rhythmic arpeggio thing going on. I think it's absolutely stunning. It really is. And as Nat mentioned, the male backing vocals, it's almost like an alter ego double track, and I just
it shouldn't work. On paper, that shouldn't work, but it does, doesn't it? It really does.
It really, really does. And something that you said, I'll just briefly mention it from the Apple Music interview, where she says it's about fighting back dark, evil murder thoughts and feeling like if I really want something, it happens or it comes true in a totally weird, different way than I even expected. And there's so much of this album that I thought I'm not going to relate to. And yet, strangely, I do. It's not necessarily a breakup album, but there's this, something's not quite right, or the end's happened, and it doesn't matter what you've done or how we'll try to fix it. And if I'd played this album at the end of a previous relationship, it would have torn me apart. It really would have. And when I put my headspace into this album, it ticks loads of boxes for me. I think it's absolutely stunning.
Yeah, I can't disagree with anything that all of you said. I'm going to read verse 2 in its entirety because this, I don't know what to make of it. It's amazing, it's incredible, and it's really messed up. And when I grow up, I'm going to look up from my phone and see my life, and it's going to be just like my recurring dream. I'm at the movies. I don't remember what I'm seeing. The screen turns into a tidal wave. Then it's a dorm room, like a hedge maze. And when I find you, you touch my leg and I insist, but I wake up before we do it. Wow.
Oh, I was just going to mention something before that I had noticed the water references running through. And it's funny because we had a similar thing with the Cure's Disintegration as well.
Yeah.
There was running water themes through that, coupled with depression. And I just think it's really interesting that different writers can gravitate towards this powerful force and use it as a metaphor in songwriting. I think it's beautiful. I really do.
Okay, let's move on to track 3, Kyoto. Now,
Yeah. I mean, you'll be glad to hear I don't relate to this song much.
good.
Uh, this kind of reminds me of there's a Lucy Dacus song called Thumbs, which is fantastic, and it does not sound like the song at all, but it is about her meeting her friend or potentially her partner's dad, who she is estranged from, and Lucy Dacus explaining how she wants to press her thumbs into the dad's eyes until they burst. And it's a beautiful song, and you should go listen to it. But
Yeah.
a lot of people think these songs may be related. Because, I think, as I said, this is maybe one of the more accessible songs. I'm sure some people perceive it to be upbeat because she says woo, but that's the extent of upbeat that we're going to get on this album.
I mean,
But
it's upbeat in that it's more of a full band sound as well, isn't it?
yes, yeah. But this was another one that she said she wrote on tour, and all the anecdotes are true, even though they're not necessarily about her dad. Specifically the birthday section, which I think is great, and I see a lot of people online talking about how that's one of the most relatable parts of this album, about missing birthdays by a few days, but it almost can mean something. Because they're trying. It's actually about her grandfather, supposedly. But yeah, I love this song. I think it really does have the feel of like there's something sinister bubbling under as the
Yeah.
song goes on, when she's talking about how she wanted to see the world through his eyes until she does see it. I think that is something that we'll kind of keep talking about through the album, where she's realizing these parts of herself that she's not as happy with, we'll say.
She's very honest about herself, isn't she?
Yes, she is. And I think she's in a very different place to where she was in the first album. Um, like I say, Tor comes up a lot. She seems to be very unhappy with it, and it's like there's no sense of home almost. I think there's something unsettling about it, which is kind of this whole album's thing. But I love this song, and you can kind of groove to it. So I'll always take that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but I would imagine that of the singles, this was probably the most popular single.
She did a big run over lockdown on like late night shows performing this.
Yeah,
So I feel like
yeah.
this got a bit of traction.
Yeah.
And like I say, that music video was very like well remembered. She's got like the skeleton suit on, which she's pretty known for. So
Yeah, she uses that a lot on tour, like the band and the skeleton suits on tour. I mean, it was showed on even when they played Glastonbury, they had that gear on, and
yeah.
when they were on, like you say, like your Jimmy Kimmels and things and stuff like that, they all had that gear. They did Saturday Night Live, I think, as well.
Yeah.
And that.
It's your turn, Craig.
Yeah, so it's indie jangly pop that's not as like happy as you would think it is for the tune. But yeah, no, it's definitely the most accessible for a non-fan to start with.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's interesting having the trumpets in there as well, because it gives it a completely different feel to an indie tune like this, because you don't tend to get trumpets in stuff like this.
It's like a Mexican band
Yeah.
style, isn't it? With that
Mariachi.
trumpet. Mariachi is the word I'm looking for. Yes.
Yeah, it's mariachi, but with not being mariachi.
Yeah, mariachi with weird lyrics. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, top tune.
Okay, great.
So it's another one of these. So she's got a real knack for making something sound one way and then singing a set of lyrics that are completely opposite or juxtaposition to the, because it sounds like a really happy piece of music.
Yeah.
It sounds like as you can groove along to it, you can dance to it. It's like it's a really happy pop song until you realize it's about her being absolutely miserable no matter where she is. Wherever she is, she wants to be somewhere else. She's not happy with what she knows. All her friends are miserable. Everything's and you're like, how can you write happy music about that? Do you know what I mean? It's like, but it's so well done. And it's like it's interesting because if you read her notes, I know Mikey will probably talk about it, but she's talking about like she hates being on tour and she wants to be home, but when she's at home, she hates being home and she wants to be on tour. And H has written out something very similar.
Yeah.
You know, and so that I wonder if it's once you get into the business and you're in this position where you're doing things because you have to, not necessarily because you feel like it's right or at the time, you know, it's not where you want to be, it's where you've got to be, and therefore there's a forced element to it which makes it harder for you to deal with.
Yeah,
it's brilliant song.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think part of the thing for me is that juxtaposition between the music and the content. Really clever.
Definitely. Mikey.
Without repeating too much, I want to agree with Craig about the horns. I thought that was absolutely sublime in this. Not too overstated, but powerful enough to come through and make it a standout against everything else on the album. And the bass is brilliant. The bass work on this track. I'm guessing she does it herself. I'm not sure, but outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. I did a deep dive. There are 3 bonkers remixes. One by Barty Strange, a very dubby mix by Glitch Gum, and the Mariahs did another remix of it, and I have to say that's my favorite version of it. So all available on Apple Music. I don't know if they were available anywhere else, but the remixes are quite
apparently the bass on this track is by Jennifer Lee Lindbergh from the band Warpaint.
Hats off. It's amazing bass work. But I, just to go alongside what Graham said, I think the fact that it's a song about missing the life that you complained about, you know, and always wanting to be somewhere where you're not. You know, I think we can all relate to that to some degree. But what amazes me is how old she was when this came out. I mean, and obviously she wrote it over the 2 or 3 years prior to that. You know,
it's quite terrifying, really, actually.
Yeah, it really is, because, you know, this is like middle-aged themes. Do you know what I mean? If that makes sense. You know, she's very world-wise and very, very honest, and that sold it for me. I thought it was a great song.
And that continues through the whole album. You know, the themes throughout the whole album. Because I had no idea how young she was until I started listening to it a few times, and then I started looking at it. Because it's weird though, because she seems to be around for ages, because she's done loads of collabs with people. So I've known the name for a really long time, just never really listened. But when you realize how young she is and the stuff that she's writing and how she's doing it, it's mind blowing.
Yeah, I mean, apparently in a press release for this track in April 2020, she said it was about her imposter syndrome. But also in May, she did an interview with a New Yorker where she claims it addresses the complex relationship she had with her father. But again, as Gray says, it's so dark. The chorus, I'm going to kill you if you don't beat me to it. Dreaming through Tokyo skies. I wanted to see the world, then I flew over the ocean and I changed my mind. Woo! It's
bonkers, isn't it?
I tell you, I mean, she does sing in lots of different styles on this record. For me, on this track, she sounds like Sheryl Crow.
Yes.
You get a very Sheryl Crow vibe from this song.
Have you seen the video for it?
I haven't. Now, have you seen the video for this?
It's a very Sheryl Crow kind of video, but it is brilliant. It's portrayed in them sort of like old VH1 type squares, you know, and you've got the.
Was it this one that was done by Phoebe Bridgers?
Lyrics. Sorry?
Was it this one that was directed by Phoebe Bridgers? Or was that...
No, that's Saviour Complex.
Saviour Complex, that's right, yeah.
But yeah, Kyoto, I think, I mean, there are some reviews about this album saying there are too many ballads on it. I don't agree with that, but I think Kyoto helps it not be that.
Yeah.
I think it's very easy for people to say it's all ballads, though. But, you know, just because a song's slow or has a sparse arrangement doesn't make it a ballad.
No, but I mean, it needs this track to give it that variety. I mean, there are quite a few coming up on the bounce now that are a more somber mood, and it just, you know, it just breaks. If you went from Garden Song into Punisher, I don't think that would quite work. So it does need this to sort of mix it up a little bit, let's say. Track 4 is the title track, Punisher. Nat.
Yeah. This was one of the ones I latched onto quite early. It really reminds me in sound of The Archer by Taylor Swift, which is always a song I really stood up for. People really hate that song, but I think it's great. Um, and it's just got that feeling of like Phoebe Bridgers loves a ghost theme, and I love a ghost theme. Um, and it has that feeling of like you're kind of it's like ethereal, you're like floating around. Um, but I didn't really know what a Punisher was for a while until I eventually looked up the lyrics of this song. This song is about Elliott Smith, the musician who was murdered in 2003. Um, and it's her saying this is what she would have said to him if she ever met him. She's a massive Elliott Smith fan. And it like she will use exact lyrics from him. She will like call back to his lyrics a lot. And she says a Punisher is like a fan who doesn't know when to stop talking to a person. And I think it's very interesting that she chose this to name the track the album after because I feel like this is quite a standout one. Like, there's a lot of themes that we'll talk about coming back. This is quite a standout for something a bit different on the album.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, but this has quite a lot of memorable lyrics in it too for her. So the EP that she brought out alongside this was Copycat Killer, which is from this song, which is great, and it has a stripped down version of Kyoto with an orchestra that is beautiful and can really make you listen to the lyrics rather than
Yeah.
anything else. I do really recommend it. It's great. Um, but yeah, I love the sound of this song. And a lot of the songs later, I feel like I'm really good to talk about the lyrics, but just the sound of this song is really the best thing for me.
Yeah. Cool. Craig.
Well, what Matt's just said there is very interesting because what I was thinking of it lyrically, and it makes more sense now. What you're saying about about the murdered guy, it just thematically harked us back to when we did the Kathleen Edwards episode with Alicia Ross about the murdered girl. But it's also what you're saying about what it sounds like. The song that I've played a couple of times, which go back to the Twilight soundtrack. Christina Perri's "A Thousand Years." It sounds like a very slowed down, like downbeat version of that without the big chorus. So it's a bit because when you hear you've got something, you think there's
You're looking
there's
out for
something
things that you can relate back to.
that I find a little bit familiar. So yeah, a mashup between those two songs would be quite interesting. But yeah, no, I love the whole melancholy feel of it and the way that it's all downplayed. But yeah, I'd say I am really liking this album.
Okay. Great.
Well, I had it down. I hadn't actually thought about the Thousand Years comparison, but I get it vocally, the way it's delivered and what have you. But for me, I had it. It's like it's somewhere between Billie Eilish's first album and Lockdown Taylor Swift. It's that kind of laid back, very mellow, but kind of really acerbic. I mean, it's like, what if I told you I felt like I know you, but we never met? It's for the best. It's like it's almost like a stalker type thing.
Yeah.
And if she's with what Nat said, explaining the person it was written about and her relationship with that person, how she feels on it, that comes across as like, and the fact that she's named it Punisher and it's like that a person that doesn't know when to stop talking to somebody that they're a fan of and what have you, but she's putting herself in that place.
Yeah.
About
Well,
him.
is it not an imagined conversation she
Yeah, it's an imagined conversation.
Yeah.
Which is it's a really, really interesting, and it changes the nuance of the lyrics a little bit once you realize that that's what it's about.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Really good.
Okay.
And I love the music. I love it's that I don't know if it's a felty piano or something that she uses or whatever, but it's just, in fact, I could probably look it up. Let's she play on that. Punisher's track 4, isn't it?
Yeah.
I can't find. I'll look it up, but it's the style of the keyboard and piano that's in it is just And
I've certainly read, when I was trying to find some info about the album, quite a number of tracks she's used a lot of effects, but actually manned the fader board herself to sort of push them in and out of the
play the
mix at
effects.
different times. Yeah. And this probably is a beneficiary of that sort of
really good
way of working. Mikey, what do you think of Punisher track?
I think it's really atmospheric. I love it. I think for the first time of more times to come on this album, the strings, oh my God, they're just absolutely sublime. Whoever arranged them, you know, gold star, hat nod, absolutely beautiful. There's loads of electronic motifs going on in the background as well. Not dissimilar to some of the stuff I listened to, recent Moby stuff. He had an album out in 2013 called Innocence, and there's a lot of that sort of like lo-fi vibe to it. And I love that. So this won me over in spades, it really did. And, you know, again, lyrics, absolutely amazing. My favorite bit of this one was the drugstores are open all night. The only real reason I moved to the east side, I love a good place to hide in plain sight. You know, again, world-wise and, you know, early 20s, absolutely amazing.
Can I
Loved it.
jump back in before you, John? There's something I forgot to say.
Yeah,
I try and get it into every episode, a link to a musical or a way, something that makes. So
It
this
doesn't
song,
sound like Big Country.
It doesn't, but this song makes me think. I don't know if you've ever seen. There's a film about that's made of a musical called Once. And there's the feel of this song feels like music from that musical, and it's beautiful because again, the lyrics in that musical are very, very heartfelt about lost relationships and not being able to say what you think and what have you. So yeah.
Okay.
Really good.
Yeah, I agree with, again, I can't disagree with anything you guys have said. There's some really nice, again, the vocal style on this is almost like a whispered conversation, some of it. It's and the bit what if I told you I feel like I know you but we never met. She's double tracked it. I mean, she double tracks a lot of her vocals, but she's double tracked the whisper, which it just I was gonna say it makes it more creepy, but it doesn't. It gives it a really great effect. It really sort of stands out. Again, it's another deep lyric from a really twisted mind, I have to say. The next track is track 5, which is Halloween.
Yeah. Speaking of dark lyrics, I love the first lyric of this song of I hate living by the hospital, the sirens go all night. I used to joke that if they woke you up, somebody better be dying. I think that's great.
That's very
It's a cracking
typical of
lyric, isn't it?
hers. Yeah.
I feel like we're entering a bit where she can write some lyrics that are quite twisted and also, I think, so insanely romantic in a strange way. Like, and that's like she only has one outright love song so far. Because she keeps dating her band members, so
Yeah.
we'll talk about that later.
We
But
will, yes.
she's with Bo Burnham now.
Okay.
Who knew?
Is she?
But yeah, they've been together for a few years. She covered one of his songs as well. I recommend that too. But I love this song. There's another murder reference in this song that I think is great, and apparently it just got in this song because she talks about it so much. She talks about the killing of a fan at the Dodgers Stadium in 2003,
Yes.
where they killed each other over a sport, and she was like, she spoke about it in an interview about how she just couldn't fathom that something so insignificant had kind of done that. But yeah, she just brings up prolific murders a lot in this album, which I get that
She
too.
is a fan of true crime, isn't she?
I don't know if it's a fan or if it's just
Or
a
like
fascination.
fascination. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's the right way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Not a fan of true crime. That would mean she commits true crime. No, I don't mean that.
no, I know what you mean. But yeah, I love this song. I think on paper, obviously, it's very like we can act as something different. But I think a lot of the lyrics on this are ones that if when you come back to it, you can think on it a bit more. I kind of wrote this off as quite a self-explanatory song until I came back to it a bit, and yeah.
Okay. Craig, what do you make of it?
Yeah, I think that's sums up really, really well. I mean, it's dark as F, as the rest of the as the
You
rest
say that every time, don't you?
as the rest of the album is. But it's funny because again, yeah, I was listening to the melody and I was trying to think like what does it remind me of? Because it does remind me of another tune, and the closest I could think of the picked bass and the picked guitar, the way that they do. But I was trying to think of a song that would actually fit with it, and of all things that got in my head was Gautier's "Somebody I Used to Know."
Yeah.
But really,
Slightly faster, I think I would have said go to yours, but yeah.
yeah, Gautier's like faster and more bombastic.
Yeah.
This is if you did a stripped back version of it.
Yeah.
But it's all the better for it.
Okay. Great.
So I think this is my favorite song on the album.
Really? Wow.
And it's a combination of things, the musicality of it. So I mean, there's a baritone guitar, there's a upright bass, there's synthesizers, there's a pop piano, there's all this stuff. Plus, there's all the effects that you get, all the reverse sounds and all the. It's just built and layered, and the percussion on this is really simple but really effective. It makes the song sound really big while not overpowering anything. And then the lyrics are just off the charts. They're absolutely brilliant. And it's just the combination. And for me, I think the person I think I would say this is perhaps most like is Lana Del Rey.
Yeah.
With the Lana Del Rey stuff, some of the darker stuff that she does. I think is that kind of, and I'm a huge fan of Lana Del Rey as well. So it's like, yeah, brilliant song.
Cool. Mikey.
Yeah. Don't think it's quite my favorite. We're not getting into favorite territory quite yet, but it was definitely getting there. Love the atmospherics again in this one. But for me, it was the vocal delivery again. It's that haunting, painful delivery that she does. It's absolutely top notch. And despite what is on the surface a very sparse arrangement, this is one of those ones where you must put your headphones on. There is so much going on. There's layer upon layer of just beautiful, haunting electronic swathes going on. It's absolutely brilliant. It's genius how something so stripped back really isn't. And I love that parallel of people wearing masks and the metaphor for Halloween. Just clever songwriting.
Yeah.
Clever girl. Loved it.
This isn't my favorite track, but this is probably my favorite emotional pull on the album. The bit about we can be whatever it's Halloween, we can be whatever we want. For me, I kind of read into it that it's a relationship that's not quite going that well. So we can use Halloween to reinvent ourselves. We can go and be anything we want to be. And especially the outro where Conor Oberst comes in and sings with her. Whatever you want, I'll be whatever you want. Be whatever you want. And they sort of play around with that outro thing. It kind of backs up that idea for me. Again, it's a claustrophobic, but I mean that not in a sort of wall of sound type of way. It's claustrophobic in that everything's down low and you've got to listen and you've got to really pay attention. It's great. It's a great song. I couldn't whistle it, I couldn't sing you the tune, but I could say that about most of them on this album because it's not really about that, is it? Now the next track is Chinese Satellite.
This is probably my favorite song on the album lyrically.
Right.
I think this is just genius, and I think also being a queer person, having heard, so obviously this is a song about religion, and her lack of faith, but it's not in a cynical way. It's in, she wants to believe. That's the whole hook of this song. Um, but it's a true story that she was being yelled at by picketers. Um, and I just think that twist on, I think there's plenty of songs about lacking religion, but that twist of I want that comfort, I want that in, and then twisting it to be about her relationship, I think is so genius. Like maybe the best lyric on the whole album for me is I'd stand on the corner embarrassed with a picket sign if it meant I could see you when I die. Like I think that's so great. Um and yeah, I just think
It speaks to
I
you.
just relate to, yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
relate to it a lot. Like I think it's a great song. And I love, like I say, that imagery of these terrible people, like horrible people. But she's almost having a selfish moment of being like, I'll I do it. I do it to see you. Like I want to be wrong as well as the final line of this song. I think it's great. Like
Yeah.
it's just crazy. We also get our first reference of birds in this, which we will talk about a lot in the next track.
Yeah. It's musically it's different. It jumps around, doesn't it? The arrangement jumps around.
It's
It
almost proggy. I put in my notes.
Yeah, kind of. In that it's got a number of sections. Yeah, yeah. Anything else you want to say about it now, other than it's your favorite?
Well, it's not my favorite song on the album.
No.
It's my favorite lyrically.
Okay, I think I know what your favorite song is, but I might be proved wrong.
Yes, I think I make it quite known. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Craig, what do you think of this Chinese satellite track? I don't think we will, because I was about to say this is going to get knocked out like a Marillion album.
Yeah, is that better?
Yeah, it's better. Yeah.
better, yeah.
Craig, what do you think of Chinese?
The cat and the pepper knocked the flip microphone. That's what happens when you got cats who run the
Professional
podcast.
now.
Yeah. No, I think I think the lyrics on this are really, really clever. I like the whole thing with evangelicals yelling in the juxtaposition of angry religion, which I mean America's full of at the minute, and their whole idea of Christianity and faith and things like that is so screwed up. But it's part. I mean, there's more deeper parts of the lyrics now. But I really love the thing that the stars haven't come out tonight, so I'm going to wish on a Chinese satellite. That's great stuff.
Great.
It almost was my favorite song on the album, and it was because of the lyrics. The reason Halloween got it is because Halloween for me is more there's more to it musically. It's a very simple piece of music. This one, beautiful piece of music, but very simple piece of music. But the lyrics, I mean, I just she's taken some great ideas, some sort of things to discuss, put them together as a whole, which I would never have thought of doing. The way you look at it, the different things that she's talking about. And then it's the last verse for me. That sometimes when I can't sleep, it's just a matter of time before I'm hearing things. Swore I could hear you through the walls, but that's impossible. I want to believe that if I go outside, I'll see a tractor beam coming to take me to where I'm from. I want to go home. So again, it's that not feeling as if she is where she should be, not feeling where not wanting to be somewhere else.
Yeah.
And it's like Nat says, there's a number of themes that you can pick through a whole album. So I struggled sometimes when I first listened to it. I didn't understand. There is a lot of ballad type music on it. There's a lot of things, and it's like what ties it all together? Because it's not a love song album. It's not this, but it's those themes. It's the feeling lost, the disassociation, the feeling of wanting something else, but not wanting that. Do you know what I mean? So you can follow that through the album, I think. But you need to, it's like you say, John, at the top of the pod, you need to put the headphones in and you need to pay attention, and then it just opens up a whole different world.
Absolutely. Mikey, what do you make of this track?
I'm going to use an F word.
Oh,
It's fucking awesome. Absolutely awesome. This is my favorite track on the album by a country mile. I just think it's outstanding. And I have to slightly disagree with Graham. I don't think it's a simple piece of music at all.
I don't think
I,
it is. Yeah.
I love the tonal shifts in it.
Yeah.
You've got beautiful guitar and bass working together at the start. It's absolutely harmonious. And the strings just build as the track goes on. At the 1 minute 55 mark, you've got sort of like drums and bass coming in, it's a tonal shift, and you get, like after the last few verses, you've got these strings that are just absolutely soaring.
Yeah.
It
and goes
the outro. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's a big finish.
Guitars and the drums crashing in. It honestly, I blew my socks off this one, and paired with the lyrics. I mean, following on from the bit that Craig recited about wishing on a satellite, just says, "I want to believe. Instead, I look at the sky and I feel nothing." God, that was a gut punch.
Well, keep going. I hate to be alone. I want to be wrong.
Yeah. But that bit towards the end that Graham mentioned, the sometimes when I can't sleep bit, it's just absolutely heartbreakingly beautiful. Musically and lyrically, I just think it just blends perfectly. Top-notch stuff for me. Absolutely brilliant.
I agree with you, Mike. It's the most musically different within the same track, I think, apart from, I'm sorry to keep mentioning the last track, apart from the last track, which is definitely prog, Craig. I'll say it before you do. This goes from the breakdown where it just goes into sort of a string section and a vocal after about a minute, but then you kind of build back up, as Mikey says, the full band comes back in, you got the big old finish, and this is all within sort of, was it 3:40 or something? I don't know.
Yeah.
3:37, yeah. So all of that's going on, and then you add this lyric into it as well. Incredible. And we're in the middle of the album, we're not at either end of the album. Carrying on then, Nat, track 7 is Moon Song.
Yeah, I think this is probably the fan favorite song. I see a lot about this song. And she describes it in a way that I think makes sense of it. Again, this is a song that I think could be muddy if you don't really look into the lyrics. But she says it is the wanting to be stepped on feeling. So, just very self-sabotaging, I guess. But I love the gross stuff she says in this song. This is a song full of like things either she shouldn't say or that sound bad. Like you couldn't have stuck your tongue down the throat of somebody who loved you more is gross. And I hate it. But
is it or is it not describing how they met?
Yeah, I don't like the description of kissing in that way. It's disgusting, but that's the point. And she says, we hate tears in heaven, but it's sad that his baby died, which is a fantastic lyric. It was originally we hate Eric Clapton, and she changed it.
Oh no,
yes,
no.
She changed it. I mean, he's a racist. Anyway,
whoa.
I mean, he posts on Twitter about it. It's fine. But similarly with the John Lennon section of this song, which I think is also quite hard to listen to for people. She doesn't say anything distinctly bad about John Lennon, but
what's the next line?
It's clear. Yeah. I think it's great. The way she talks about things is just so wrong in this song in a great way. Also, the dog and bird metaphor, which comes back again later, is fantastic and inherently just makes you sad, I think. This whole song is kind of sadness on top of another sad thing on another sad thing, building up to you're sick and you're married and you might be dying, but you're holding me like water in your hands.
Not a Saturday night song, is it?
No, it's not. But
Depends
Goes
what you
down well on the
say,
dance floor.
doesn't it?
yeah, this is just the most like I feel like this feels the most honest track
Yeah. Yeah.
on the album because she just says everything. Like, and it's true. She was dating a man who is sick and married and might be dying. So it's just very interesting.
Okay.
It's Conor
Well,
Oberst again. So
It's what, sorry?
it's Conor Oberst again. The song is about Conor Oberst
Is it?
with the bright eyes. Yes, she's
Yeah.
got some scathing lyrics about him.
Okay, no. Craig, follow that.
Yeah, moral of the story is don't shag your bandmates.
It's a bit
Yes.
late for that.
Unless
She's got
you-
a whole album
unless
out
you
here,
fight
hasn't
with
she?
Matt.
Yeah.
Unless you want a good song out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, unless you put you with Mac.
I mean, yeah, if you listen to this song and don't delve deep into the lyrics, it does sound like a traditional modern folk song of the genre, like yeah, Wheel and Jelly's kind of what's found in a minute. But again, the lyrics are just as dark as fuck. Yeah. They say when you talk about we don't like tears in heaven. It's sad that his baby died. You're like, oh, okay.
I know, that's a bit much, isn't it?
Okay, but fair play, fair play.
Okay. Gray?
This is another one where I think the Sheryl Crow reference comes in. And I think it's
Yeah.
is it I Shall Believe, the last song on Tuesday Night Music Club? I think it's there's kind of that it's got that kind of guitar, the way the guitar's played and the bits and bobs, the music, the instrumentation, it's got that vibe to it. And it's also that kind of same melancholy tone to it.
Yeah.
But I'm going to use an F word and it's not going to be flipping, but lyrically, fuck me. This is something entirely different. And I mean, she's 31 now. So what, 25 years older when this came out? How can you write this at 25? I mean, what life have you lived to let you write this at 25 years old? Do you know what I mean?
Hard and fast.
It's so you've got the Eric line, the Eric Clapton line, the John Lennon line. He goes, and he made a cry over arguing about John Lennon. He goes, and then we went to bed upset. Just that what, and it's not even part of a verse where it's like in between. It's like, just as an aside, by the way, I was angry when we went to. It goes back to that conversational lyric style that you were talking about, Nat. The way she talks about how she feels and she puts things across in a story. It's not story time, but she tells stories through conversations and experiences. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
But then no matter how upset she was, if I could give you the moon, I would give you the moon.
Yeah. Mikey.
This was a bit of a low point for me, and I can't quite put my finger on it because lyrically, I loved it. It's brimming with as much atmosphere as what's gone previously, but I think there's something missing from it. And funnily enough, what I think's missing from it is delivered in spades in the next track. But yeah, I agree with everything that's been said about the lyrics and stuff. What Matt said about the sticking your tongue down the throat of somebody, it is jarring. It's like, I don't want to hear that, and that's the point. That's the point she's trying to get across.
I think that's the story of how they met.
Well, she says, so I will wait for the next time you want me, like a dog with a bird at your door.
Yeah. Yeah,
she
wants to please him.
She wants to please him. But
yeah.
It's that, well, almost, but I was getting that she wants to be walked all over kind of feeling. Do you know what I mean? There's like a juxtaposition going on, I don't know, there was something jarring about it that I think I'm going to have to spend some time with it. Okay. And I think there's a lot of this album needs time. I don't think I couldn't have listened to this once and given a good review of it.
No, it's not that sort of a record at all. No,
really isn't. I think this one will be a grower. I mean, I wrote down my notes. I think Imogen Heap would sound great on this, and I really do think she would.
Yeah.
But I think it's a bit of a low point on the album for me. But that's not to say it's a bad song, because it's not.
Okay, we've talked a lot about lyrics. And I'm glad no one's quoted this, because I think this is the best line on the entire record. It's verse 1. And the last line of this really, really hits me. You asked to walk me home, but I had to carry you, and you pushed me in, and now my feet can't touch the bottom of you. That's amazing, amazing line. She's so far into him, she's
Walking on
adrift.
it.
She's adrift. She's in the deep end. She's just brilliant, brilliant line. It's upsetting me. I've got to move on.
It's more
Next.
water. She's obsessed with this water.
But it's just that description of being so far into somebody, your feet can't touch the bottom.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And then when she's dreaming and it's her birthday, it's nautical themed. And there's something she has to say, but she can't for the life of her remember what it is.
Really clever.
It's a great song.
Really good. Next track now, Savvy Complex.
I love this song. Could I really fully tell you what this song's about? No. But musically, this song is delicious. Like, it's
I
just,
like that word.
yeah. I don't even know how to describe it, but there's something about it that I think is so wonderful. And this is another song where she likes to end on a bit of a like unfinished chord sequence. And it makes it so like up in the air. And I feel that through this whole song. And I don't know, this is less of a lyric song to me. This is more just like the strings, the melody line is beautiful. And she talks about drowning again. So what more could you want?
Okay. Craig.
This to me has got a very Fiona Apple feel to it.
Very much so.
Yeah, very much so. I like the strumming guitars and the way that it plays into like almost like a film musical soundscape, and very musically it's a lot lighter and it flows and there's strings in it, and it's got it's the kind of film that you would find on a soundtrack and that, but again the darker lyrics to it.
Yeah.
But I think it sounds gorgeous. It sounds absolutely gorgeous.
Okay. Great.
Well, I will admit that before I read the lyrics, I thought the second line was ovaries and fears. No idea why, but hey, nothing would surprise me with the lyrics on this album.
That's an album title, that, Greg.
I love the lyrics in this. But they pale in comparison to the string arrangement. The music in this is delicious, is the right word, Nat. It is. There's something sumptuous about it, and the violin solo is enough to bring you to tears. There's no force to it. There's no bombast to it. It's just this really plaintive single violin playing these notes that just tear your heart out. It is an absolutely gorgeous piece of music. And then you've got the lyrics on top, which is kind of that sort of little cherry that says, yeah.
Okay. Mikey.
Before I do, I'll read what she said, which is thematically, it's like a sequel to Moon Song. It's like when you get what you asked for, and then you're dating someone who hates themselves. I could relate to this 100%, and I think it was vying for my favorite track on the album for a long time until Chinese Satellite kind of swapped with it. But I agree with everything that's been said so far. The strings are what made it to me. I agree with Graham. They are absolutely heartbreaking. They are beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I won't go into the lyrics too much, but my favorite bit was wake up and start a big fire in our one-room apartment, but I'm too tired to have a pissing contest. All the bad dreams that you hide, show me yours, I'll show you mine. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
And I caught the video for the first time today.
That's good, isn't it? Yeah. It's
and
strange.
I spotted super sexy Irish actor Paul Mescal, who went on to be in Gladiator 2 and a film that I saw not too recently, All of Us Strangers. So that made me appreciate the song on a completely different angle. But
Okay, let's all right, I get it.
but astounding, top to bottom,
I
absolutely
think it's quite
outstanding.
dreamlike, that track, isn't it? Really?
Apart from the lyrics, apparently, it's the Saviour complex is also known as white knight syndrome. It characterizes a person that feels the need to save other people, and they may actively seek them out in order to assist them. While it may sound positive, this can lead to the saviour using it as an outlet to avoid their own problems, and the other individual can struggle to take ownership of their own actions. Another jolly song.
Yeah. Mikey, have you seen After Sun with Paul Mescal or not?
No,
Watch that. Have hankies.
She
Yeah,
dated
okay.
Paul Mescal.
Did they? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And then, because someone correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know if I've ever seen anything with Paul Mescal in it, but his co-star in Normal People he had straying eyes, let's say, from what I remember anyway. But she's happily with Bo Burnham now, so it's fine.
Okay. Track 9 is I See You. Now,
I never knew this, but on some physical releases of the album, it is written as I See You, as in SEE. And I never really knew why, but it was because she felt it was insensitive at the time of release because it was during COVID,
Yeah.
which I thought was interesting. She doesn't seem to write it that way anymore, so I guess we're going with I See You. But anyway, I think this is a great song. This is about her drummer,
Yeah.
which
Again, she's been out with him.
yes, and he is still her drummer.
He is.
So they've made it work. But I do like I Used to Light You Up. Now I Can't Even Get You to Play the Drums. I think that's great. And then the drums don't play after it, which seems to be a callback to she has a song on her first album called Scott Street, which is the best song on that album, and it makes me cry every time. And it is the best use of Bicycle Bell that I've ever heard in a song in my life.
I'm sorry. Bicycle Race by Queen.
No, it's better than that.
No.
Oh,
You
hang on
haven't
a
heard
minute.
it. You haven't heard it.
I haven't, you might.
But she says in that, I asked you how he's playing drums. He said it's too much shit to carry. And then the drums come in. So she loves a little mention of drums and then either using them or not.
And a drummer, oh, I can't even say it. Her drummer is Marshall Vaughn, isn't he?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, he's still there.
Yeah, he co-wrote 4 songs on this album.
Mhm.
In fact, more. No?
Yeah.
4? No, 4.
Probably.
5.
But yeah, I think this is another kind of uplifting moment musically, I guess. Like we've got a happier feel coming on before the last 2 tracks.
Yeah.
This also has the I Hate Your Mum verse,
It does.
which I have on a shirt, and Dad feels a certain way about it.
Well, you were wearing it at the weekend and caught me off guard completely. It does.
I was, yeah.
I hate your mum at the top of it.
It just says I hate your mum.
Yeah.
It doesn't say I hate it when she opens her mouth. It's amazing to me how much you can say when you don't know what you're talking about.
Have you read what that's about?
Yes, that she was a Trump supporter, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is another one that is quite conversational in nature to me. Like a lot of the stuff she is saying is not like I don't need to Google the lyrics to this one, but they're great. I also love the section about you're a work of art, I'm standing too close, I can see the brush strokes. I think that's very nice.
Yeah, it's clever. Yeah. Cool. Greg.
I don't know what I want until I fuck it up.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that line. Yeah. No, I think musically this is interesting. It's very stop-start. I love the use of like fuzzbox guitar and that in it. But yeah, it's again a very interesting lyric, and musically it does start to become a little bit more upbeat than some of the stuff that I've had previously.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the way that it's sandwiched between these next two, like the song previous, the one after. I think it just gives a nice little like bit of a detour.
Yeah.
So yeah, cool.
Okay. Great.
I like this, but it's nothing to do with the lyrics for me for this one. It's the vibe that this song has. I mean, the lyrics are as good as the lyrics on the other songs on the album, but for me, it's the structure of this song because it's start and stop and start and stop, but it builds all the way through. But it's got kind of a
I think it's starting the upturn towards the end of the album, isn't it?
yeah. But it's got kind of a. I mean, I wrote like 80s post-punk female-fronted band type of thing, and I couldn't work out who I think, but it made me think of somebody, and I still can't remember. But it's like I've just played it again. Let's see if I can think of it. I'm like, it makes me think of somebody. Singles from the sort of late 80s, probably. I can't put my finger on it, and I love it. I just love the vibe to the song.
Cool. We'll leave it at that. Mikey.
It's funny you should say that, Graham, because in my notes I put down it sounds like something from the 90s, but I can't think what.
Yeah.
So I'm going to date it slightly later than the 80s, but I think I think it's the structure, like you say, Graham. It's probably the most pop song on the album as far as structure's concerned, and it's far more rhythmic than anything else on the album, and a clearly obvious single choice. I think it was the third single before the album came out, so as a lead-in, it probably couldn't be more different from what the rest of the album is. But I love that, you know, at the 2:15 bridge part, that all the drums and the guitars just drop out completely. There's some lovely arrangement to this that makes it stand out from the rest of the album, but it doesn't stick out like a sore thumb. I enjoyed it. It's not in the top echelons for me, but it's a good song, it really is.
Yeah. I'm with you guys. I think it's good. As I said, I think we're starting to build towards the end of the album now. I think the next two tracks are outstanding, but for different reasons. There's nothing wrong with this. Exactly what you guys have said. Some great lyrics again. Some more of the same themes. The last but one track is Graceland 2, Nat, which I believe is your favourite song.
It is my favourite song. It's maybe my favourite song ever.
Okay. Wow.
I love this song, and I have from the first listen. I do struggle with listening to music for the first time. I find it really difficult to hear lyrics, and that's usually what I connect with the most. So, like the first time I remember hearing Folklore for the first time and being like, it was good, but I need to listen to it again. And now it's like top tier album. But this song, the first time I heard it, I was like, this is it. We've done it. We've completed music. So this song features Lucy Dacus and Julian Baker, who, with Phoebe Bridgers, formed Boy Genius. Go listen to all their songs. They're all good. But this seems to tell like a linear story. There are two songs that I would say accompany this, which are Please Stay by Lucy Dacus, which was on home video, and Favour by Julian Baker. And they all feature the other members of Boy Genius, and they were seemingly all recorded on the same day. I would say story order is Please Stay by Lucy Dacus first, which is very describes Julian Baker's apartment if she had killed herself, effectively. And then Favour by Julian Baker is her reaching out for help. And then Graceland 2 is Julian Baker has left some sort of psych ward by the sounds of it, and is reunited with her friends, and Phoebe's being thankful. I think I love Please Stay by Lucy Dacus, and that song is the saddest song you can hear because it's just about suicide. And listening to this song after it is so beautiful because that whole ending part I think is so fantastic, saying so little. Like, I love the whole whatever she wants section. I think it's beautiful. They have a lot of Boy Genius songs about how they're friends. Lucy Dacus and Julian Baker are dating, but they weren't when Boy Genius started. So a lot of it is very much about friendship. And I think it's beautiful. Graceland 2 is also a place Julian Baker described that they had all been to together, which was a guy who was obsessed with Elvis's house that he'd filled with memorabilia. So I guess she chose to name it after that, but it doesn't come up in the song. And yeah, I just think it's the other side of the coin almost from that she's had all these songs about how her in a relationship, she's not prepared for that because she hates herself and she's so flawed. And this is almost the other side of that, of you've you've come through something like this. You've come through one of the hardest times of your life. And I'd do anything to keep you around. And I think that's great. That's very much the vibe of Please Stay as well, which I really recommend you go listen to both. They're very heavy songs to me, but I don't know if that's just a person by person thing. But yeah, I think this song is untouchable. And just that end section with all of them in it, knowing that it's about Julian Baker and she's featuring on this song must have been a crazy recording session. And it just feels so, it feels like you're there to me anyway. But yeah.
Craig, follow that.
Yeah, it's a heartbreaking song about mental health, suicide, and that. Musically, it reminds me and John's gonna not get this in the slightest. It reminds me so much of the theme music from Firefly, the TV show.
Oh God, yeah.
It's the picked banjo and the orchestra. It is just so similar to the not necessarily to the chord progression, but to the style of it.
I hadn't thought of that, but yeah.
It's if you know the show, you'll recognize it straight away. But there you go.
If you know the show.
We're sci-fi geeks, he says, plug in another podcast.
Great.
So the first thing I wrote down was, were the Dixie Chicks the backing band? And that is not a bad thing, by the way. So one of the albums that means most to me is their Dixie Chicks album Home, and there's a couple of songs on it that are about loss and losing people or the joy of having somebody and what have you. And they're really, really personal songs. They're actually covers. They're not even written by the Dixie Chicks, but that's who I first heard doing them. And when I heard this and the type of lyric and the type of music, that's where it took me. And because those songs mean so much to me, the second I heard this, it kind of meant something to me. Do you know what I mean? It's like because it made me think of
something
something
to the same
important.
place. Yeah.
Do it to the same place. The only reason it's not my favorite song on the album is because it's so unlike anything on the album.
Yeah, it is.
It's kind of stark in the way it stands out. I think if the album if there'd been more Americana and more that kind of vibe throughout the album, I'd have been comfortable saying, yeah, okay, yeah, I get that. But my favorite song is the one that I feel actually shows the album for what it is. If that makes sense.
Again, in the same way the DVD menu sets up the second track, I think this sets up the last track.
Oh God, yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
It kind of distracts you. It's like, look at that over there, and then whop.
Yeah. But it's gorgeous. It is utterly gorgeous and heartbreaking.
Mikey.
Well, it's like adding another string to our bow, really, isn't it? It's nice to have something on the palette that's different to everything else, again, without it standing out like a sore thumb. And just that sort of like folky, bluesy, bluegrass feel to it. I just thought it worked really, really well. And like Nat said, it feels like a band. You know, you're almost sat in a live performance. It is quite unique, yet not disparate from the rest of the album at the same time. And maybe that's just the lyrics. I wouldn't say it's outstanding for me because I do feel it's tiny bit jarring, but I think it's well placed. Like I said, John, I think it leads perfectly into the last track. And I think these three tracks somehow belong well together at the end, yet they shouldn't.
They're completely different, aren't they?
Yeah. But they work really well for me. So I think it is very much an album, despite the fact that there's quite obvious singles on there. I think it's a piece of art, and I think everything has got a place, and so does this.
I think this is worth it alone for the harmonies. The beautiful, beautiful harmonies on this track that aren't on the record anywhere else. I mean, it's boy genius, isn't it? But I think it's amazing. It isn't my favorite track because that's the next track and always has been since I first heard it, and it still is now. So I'm going to lead on to the final track, Nat. I Know the End.
Yeah. The first time I heard this song, I didn't like it.
Wow.
Because I thought it was lovely, and I love that like driving. I guess it's a bridge. It's almost like an outro, but it's very long. It's like half the song.
Yeah.
And I think that's amazing and some of her best songwriting ever. And as soon as it went into the instrumental, I was just like, no, because I didn't think it was going to go there, and my brain wasn't happy. And then as I listened to it more, obviously it is perfect. It could be a perfect. It's a great song. Like it's fantastic, and it's funny because when she talks about it, she kind of says she didn't really have a direction for the song to go, and that a lot of the lyrics are pulled from different scenarios. Whereas, as we've talked about, a lot of these other songs are very like about something that has distinctly happened to her in her life, or summing up a part of a relationship or something. She says this is very much just an amalgamation of these different things.
Yeah.
I think that first line is great and very funny. She can be very funny in her lyrics, I think. But I think it's great. Somewhere in Germany, but I can't place it. Man, I hate this part of Texas. Is great. And yeah, she said she wanted to write something similar to We Didn't Start the Fire.
This isn't it.
No, but that driving outro bit I kind of get, in that she's making a list of things. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's so great, and it's almost a summary of the album. Like every time I listen to it, parts of that will make me think about different songs. Like Haunted House with a Picket Fence is Garden Song to me, and um Slot Machine's Fear of God is Chinese Satellite, and
Yeah.
I think that's so great. And it clearly is just things she's seen and then attributing them to this obviously made up apocalyptic situation. Well, I say obviously made up, but it's rooted in something. But yeah, I know Dad anyway is going to talk about the instrumentation on this song, so I'll talk about lyrics.
I think someone else may do that before me, but yeah.
But yeah, I just think that section of there's again that home imagery that we were talking about before with Tor at the start, and then turning it into it's the end of the world, and I'm not going to go down with my hometown in a tornado. I'm going to chase it.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's great. And it's almost, even though it's this apocalyptic song, it almost has a positive feel to it compared to some of the other ones where she's stuck in between like this touring and home, and she doesn't know where she wants to be. And she's just like, it feels like I'm gonna do something.
It's a kind of defiance for me. That point at 2:25 where driving out into the sun, from that point, it feels like she's defiant. She's like, I'm gonna just face this.
Yes.
Let's just head into it.
Yeah. And I love the repeating I knows. She loves a repeating line in a song, and I think they're so effective. And I think this song could have been something very different, and I'm almost glad it's not. Like there's kind of a type of song I think that has an apocalypsy vibe, and this is something different, and I think it's very refreshing, and obviously it is really haunting. I think that instrumental at the end is quite haunting on purpose. That again pulls from the DVD menu melody at the end.
Yeah.
making it all quite cyclical. Um, but I do genuinely see a sense of optimism in this song, which I really enjoy because it easily could have been devastating like all the rest of this album, but I really like it. Yeah, it's great.
Thanks, Nat. Craig.
Yeah, I will defend that a little bit. There is a little bit of the Billy Joe "We Didn't Start the Fire" while listing some Americana kind of stuff. You know, the slaughterhouse, the shopping mall. You know, let's have driving with the windows down and the air conditioner. It was just the list bit. That is
Yes, I'm not claiming that she is recounting the
no, no,
events
no, no, no.
of
But
the
I get,
time.
yeah, no,
No.
that. But I get where that comes from. But no, I like the way it builds and it gets right to the crescendo. I'll not steal any of John's thunder over the musical stuff because I know he wants to get into that. But this is interesting because didn't this the performance of this was it on Saturday Night Live, which caused a minor controversy of her smashing up a guitar at the end of it, and it's a case of well, you know, she's not exactly the first rock star to do that live, so why should it be any different for a girl to do it? But no, it's an epic end. They say the build, the build, the build, the build, the build. Yeah, epic end to an album, and yeah, good
She
stuff.
was
Good stuff.
she was defended by Elton John, who also famously said if Phoebe Bridgers does not win the Grammy for this album, then he will hit someone. She didn't. I don't know if he did, but
Oh yeah, he's in prison now. Yeah, he's in prison
Yeah.
now.
that's it.
Okay.
Elton John's career was because he kind of he smacked somebody.
Yeah.
Newsflash. Great.
So the first time I played this album, I got to the end of this song and played it again. I was because I was like, hang on a minute, did that just happen? Because it takes everything that happens in the album, all the musicality, all the lyrics, all the ideas and everything. It puts it in a melting pot and it comes up with something which is just epic. There's the build that starts from sort of 3 minutes, 10, 20, whatever it is. And you've got the
225 a change.
the chorus vocals, you know, the vocal the four just after 4 minutes.
Yeah.
And it just builds and builds and builds. For me, it's like something Casey Crescendo would do with the Deer Hunter. The way it's done with that type of vocal delivery and what have you. And he's done some of the best albums in the last 20 years. So to say that makes me think of this song is fantastic. There's just something about the way it tells the story and it builds to that crescendo at the end. It's just phenomenal. And I haven't seen the Saturday Night Live thing, but I can imagine her.
Yeah.
Smashing the guitar at the end, yeah. Brilliant. What a way to end an album.
Okay. Mikey?
Trite comment number one was after my first play of the album, I thought, well, this is my payoff for listening to the rest of it. Obviously, I have reappraised this since. It's an absolutely outstanding and awesome piece of musicality, vocal delivery. The song structure, the lyrics, there's nothing to dislike about it. Just quickly go over my highlights. The 2 minutes 10 bit, which is just strings at the start of the bridge, beautiful. The build, as Graham mentioned, at the 4 minute mark, which is almost, and I don't want to use the word anthemic, but it's getting there.
Yeah.
You know, she noodles herself with a comment about being not too dissimilar to MCR's Welcome to the Black Parade. I get the sentimentality. But what made it for me was the screaming that she does towards the end. And the payoff from that is where there's those guttural noises that she makes at the end, which is all like she screamed so hard, there's like nothing else coming out except dry air.
Yeah.
Absolutely outstanding stuff. Really, really amazing. And my favorite lyrics from the track are, I'm always pushing you away from me, but you come back with gravity. And when I call, you come home, a bird in your teeth. Just brilliant. Absolutely outstanding way to sign off the album.
Yeah. Again, can't disagree with anything you've said. You've not left me much to talk about, but it's just phenomenal, a phenomenal piece of music. And as I said, Nat was chatting there, it feels so defiant with all of this going on in her head. She's still facing it and running into it, running straight ahead. Nothing's gonna put her off from that. You've got the mariachi band sound again with the trumpet. As Gray said, the chorus and the screams, as Mikey says, at 4:35 and 5:08. There's two massive guttural screams. Nothing like you've heard on the previous 50 minutes of the record. Nothing at all like you've heard, which is what makes it so brilliant, I think. And probably why Mikey got the payoff from the first play, but I wouldn't even recommend this track as a sampler for the album because it's not like the album. It's really not like the album. It's got the elements, but the other tracks that precede it are very different to this. It's a brilliant way to end a record. It really, really is.
I was going to pick up on that. That just saying, picking something that reflects the album. I think the only constant on the album is her voice, and I think it's her voice that ties the entire thing together. Because everything's different. If you go from DVD menu to this, now I believe it's the same melody line, isn't it? It's like so that you then get that loop, that thing. And you get the Americana, you get the sort of the poppy stuff, you get the very melancholic piano bass stuff. And as well as the theme, so the water and the birds, and the stuff, the different themes that she goes through. Her voice is that one constant in the whole album, and her voice is so good throughout, so good. And I don't mean that it's the same in every song because it's not.
No, it's really
she delivers
not.
different. Yeah, she delivers differently, but her voice is that one constant in the whole thing. It's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. Can I just mention Chinese Satellite, my favorite track on the album? I did listen today. There's a acoustic version of it was put out in 22, which is live from Sound City. It's a very, very stripped back version of it and totally different from the album version. It is available on Apple, but I don't know if it's available on any other streaming services. But if you can get it, it's worth a listen. It's really good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on Spotify.
Yeah.
Can I
He
just
also
go through the
does-
charts? Sorry, no, come on.
No.
In a minute. Nat, I just want to talk a little bit more about Copycat Killer that Nat mentioned earlier.
Oh, yeah.
That came out in November of 2020 as was it a Record Store Day release originally, Nat, I think, wasn't it?
No.
Do you know?
No, I think I bought it from her.
Okay.
Yeah.
This just 4 of the songs from the album: Kyoto, Savvy Complex, Chinese Satellite, and Punisher, in an orchestral setting. I think, I'm not sure. I mean, I've had to listen to it today. Kyoto is really, really different. It
Kyoto's
really brings
great.
it's really good. They don't all quite work, I don't think. Is it Chinese Satellite that doesn't?
Yeah, that didn't work for me.
I enjoy Chinese
Well,
Satellite and all.
Yeah.
But I like Punisher as well from that. I think that makes me, because like I say, I love that song for the vibe of how it sounds. That is another opportunity that I felt to really like look into those lyrics of a song that is maybe one of the most personal on the album.
Yeah.
But I think it's great, and she's got a history of doing these songs with orchestras. She has a few like rogue ones. She has a lot of rogue singles on Spotify. I'm sure there's a playlist of like all her music, but she has a lot that are very like she collaborated with someone on an off chance, or she's done like a Spotify cover and stuff. And everything she does is so different, even if Dad doesn't like some of the covers of songs that he knows, because he thinks that they sound different.
Like
Um,
what? What she covered?
she's on the Metallica cover
Yeah, it's all right.
album.
Yeah, it's okay.
She did Goodbye to Love for the Minions soundtrack,
All
which
right.
is very sad, and I don't understand how it was in the Minions film. Um, she did Friday I'm in Love. She has a Bo Burnham cover. She has a song called Georgia Lee, which is fabulous. She has another song called Prayer in Open D. None of these are on any albums. Sidelines, which got released in 2022, I think, is not on an album. It doesn't seem to be on the album that she's announced yesterday. Um,
Yeah.
there's a single coming out today in about 2 hours.
Sorry, we're recording this on Thursday the 25th.
Yes.
I think Craig is going to get knocked out
June.
fairly soon, isn't it? Yeah.
It's intending on, so this will
Yeah.
be out probably 2 seconds after we finish recording.
Yeah. About 10:30. Yeah. So it's still tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah, still in an hour or so. But yeah, I really do honestly like every song she's ever. Taylor Swift said Phoebe Bridgers is the only artist where I will listen to every song she will ever release, and that's one thing I
You
relate to
agree?
Taylor Swift on.
You
Yeah,
agree? Yeah. Okay.
I do.
All right. I'll let Mikey do his charts because he's done his research. So what was around at the time that Punisher was released, Mikey?
Countdown.
Right. So, on the 26th of June, she entered the UK charts at number 6. So I'll give you the top 5 above her, and it's quite interesting how many singer-songwriters actually in the top 6. At number 5 was Harry Styles with Fine Line. At number 4 was Lewis Capaldi with his Divinely Uninspired album. At number 3 was Lady Gaga with Chromatica. The number 2 and the number 1 spot were new entries. So the top 3 new entries were all in the top 6. At number 2 was Neil Young with Homegrown. And at number 1 was Bob Dylan with Rough and Rowdy Ways.
Oh wow. Okay. Briefly talk about different versions because there are quite a lot now, aren't there? I mean, you've got 3 different coloured vinyls, haven't you? You've
Yeah,
got
I think
black, red, and a
Yeah.
green swirl.
Yes, she did a lot of swirl, very Galaxy
I'm
almost.
just looking on Discogs.
Yes.
In 2020, there was a pink and blue swirl from Vinyl Me Please. There was an opaque red, blue with a silver swirl, blue and green swirly, which was UK Indies, almost like clear but cooler. Translucent green and black rough trade, which I think is that what you've got?
Maybe, yeah.
There was a Fun Explosion version in 2021, which is yellow, red, and blue swirl. Opaque Gold Nugget from Urban Outfitters in 2021.
That's a massive carbon footprint.
Yeah, this is more formats than Paul McCartney, and that's saying something.
For the album she's just announced, there is plenty to choose from.
Okay, yeah. But you've got, as I say, you've got 3 vinyls, haven't you? And it's
do.
stunning. They're all 180 gram and with a fantastic lyric book, which has got sort of drawings and it's really good. Are these her drawings?
Yeah. I'm not actually sure, but I will say Garden Song specifically is fantastic to listen to on vinyl because it also kind of has that crackly vinyl feel in the background, even on like the recorded version. So it feels very like it's supposed to be that way. Yes.
Yeah. And you saw her on this tour, Nat, didn't you?
I did.
Where was that?
I saw her at O2 Apollo in Manchester. I queued for 8 hours and I was in the second row. And it was fantastic. I have tickets for her next tour, but it is no phones, so there'll be no evidence that I'm there. But yeah, it was absolutely amazing. She played pretty much everything from the first and second album. There's a few songs not included. She also did bring out her tour manager to sing Garden Song with her, which was great. And she did sing I Know the End with Screaming included. And it was amazing. She does it even longer on the tour. And she just was, yeah, she's just, it feels even more honest when you see her standing there. And yeah, it was fabulous.
24th of July 2022, according to Setlist FM.
All I remember is that it rained. That's all I remember. So
She encored with Me and My Dog, which is Point Genius. So
yes, which is a great song. I highly recommend, if you boys are interested in doing a similar album, the record is fantastic. I would say you have to listen to the EP as well as the record to go alongside each other.
okay.
They've only got about 16 songs in total, but it is amazing. And they kind of split it up into Phoebe-led songs, Julian-led songs, Lucy-led songs. So you kind of get a bit more of that feel, and then it's like a bit of a gateway into the other two who are also great. So
Wow. Okay. Well, look, I've certainly enjoyed revisiting this album. I think you guys have, haven't you?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
Better than Taylor Swift.
Wow.
That's high recommendation from me.
It is, yeah. Okay, well,
Don't tell
now,
Chris.
thank you for suggesting this record, and thanks for joining us this evening. I hope you've enjoyed it.
I have, thank you.
For our listeners, have you heard this album? If not, go away and listen to it, but put the headphones on, really get into it, and let us know what you think of it in the Facebook group. Thanks again to Nat for joining us. We're audio only. She's putting a thumbs up, which means
I said thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Dad. Thank you for having me on your podcast, Dad.
No. Thank you for coming on. We really
It only
enjoyed
took
it.
how many episodes? What episode number is this?
I don't know. 20. What are we on? 20?
30
He's
something.
He's been trying to organise this one for ages. You can blame the rest of us for having things that we wanted to do or
That's
not being
true.
available when you were.
It's true. It's a Father's Day special. Speaking of age.
All that remains to be said is thank you to my co-presenters. Thank you, Mikey Kay.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, mate. Thank you, Graham Tennick.
Yeah, thank you. And thanks, Nat, for choosing the album. It's great.
And thank you, Craig Houston.
Oh, thank you, young sir. And this is actually episode 32. So there you go.
There you go. Look at that. You made it, Nat. You've been on. Thank you for coming
Yay.
on. All that remains to be said is good night from me.
And it's good night from him.
Take care.
And stay alive. Hey. And I didn't even put a plug in for Planet Sci-Fi. There you go. Oh, shit, I just have.
Shameful.
Thanks for listening.
The Planet Music from the makers of Planet Marzipan.
If you like what you've heard, please like and subscribe, and maybe even join our Facebook discussion group.
You can contact us at planetmarzipanpodcast@gmail.com.